Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, and let's go to the charts here. Things are still loading. I'm getting my, you know what we need to do? We need to come back over here. The camera's not working again. It's really annoying. Webcam. It's like I always have to deactivate and activate it again. I need to just buy a new one. There we go. How you going? Lucas says, good morning, Seth. Careful, markets are quite nervous. Well, good morning to you too. I am not surprised to see the E-mini opening up down a little bit. Things are still loading here. So I'm sorry, I normally I come in at, like 6 o'clock at the top of the hour and start the stream up so that you guys can get in and hear this part here and everything. And I just completely spaced it. And that also means that not everything is loaded yet. You see here, it's still loading my E-mini chart and so forth. I can't even switch this one. Ooh, wait. You just wait. Things went a little crazy a few minutes ago. Well, so I'm just looking here at the DOM. So the first thing that I can see is I know that we are higher than we were. I think that we were somewhere down at like 24. So pretty much this whole range was where we were at yesterday. And the E-mini, 2834. And I'm not quite sure where that is, but I know that that's lower. So I thought that the close on Friday was irrational, let's just say. I want to come up with another word that's more like anybody that bought that is an idiot, but I think that that's too strong. I did not see any reason for the E-mini to be opening up as high, to be closing as high as it did. The tariffs, they happened, folks. Like it happened. The talks broke down. There was no wow. Okay. Well, I'm not so sure that I can take that one. Certainly not live. At least I think I need to get into the groove of things first. Okay. So we're okay though. I think it's a response to China increasing tariffs on some American goods from January 1st. China retaliates with tariff hikes. It's so funny, like the United States, they say, we're going to do tariffs. And for 6 months, they have this whole thing hanging over their head. They delayed it once. You know it's coming. And China says, well, if you put on tariffs on us, we're going to put tariffs back on you. Okay. And then it happens and the market acts like it's surprised. Am I the only person that finds that amusing? Of course it was going to happen. Now the E-mini is coming back a little bit. I was kind of hoping that they were not going to realize it until we started trading, but of course, right from the get-go, they opened up down, and now they are starting to get a little crazy. I can see it's ticking like they're very scared. Okay, now my charts have loaded up, so let's look here. Okay, so here's oh, come on. Okay, there's ZB. So ZB, you can see we've been very, very range bound the past week, but they've been moving up and there's been a lot of panic, and now we are opening up above that. So totally plenty of room to run. Ninja Trader looks unhappy. They may have to restart her. Yeah, see, I wanted to buy 09.5 and I just knew, I was like, that's where they always catch me. That's where they always catch me. You just had the run, and then I want to buy 09.5, and they're going to go through it. And now probably what's going to happen is they're going to tick up at 09 and blow right through it. And I'll be like, oh, I wish I had bought 09.5. Look, if we had held that and kept it all session, we would make 16 ticks. Okay, so 08.5 goes offer for a moment. A decent amount absorbed there. The E-mini is quite wild at the moment. I was going to increase to 2 lots since I've been doing good on 1, but I will stick to 1 until this calms down. Yeah, this is, yeah, you want to wait for standard action. In fact, my take is, well, we've had this discussion before, but I think that you want to time your increases or decreases on contracts with times that you know that the action is going to be good for you. You know, for me, this is a time period that tends to be good for me, so I'm willing to size up. But it's more volatile, and I know I can lose more, so maybe I don't size up. You know, but if it's like reasonable range and it's moving and it's good action for me, you know, like it was at January, then that's what then when I size up. And it's like if you have enough to do it, wait until you get the action that you know is the best for you. Uzi, I see he's using the fun new thumbnail. Oh, so did the thumbnail from my previous video carry over to this one? Is that what happened? Let's see. And I'm going to have to click over here and go to your channel. Yes, I do. Except for that it's showing yesterday's stock chart. So at the end of the day, we'll take a picture and we'll update it. So, I guess it'll just kind of be a rolling thing. And the thing is, I don't have much experience, and I'm unfamiliar with this type of action. Locus, when did you start trading? I don't recall. I think it's only been like 6 months, right? Because I've been wondering if we're gonna get something like the February of Doom. For those of you that have been around long enough, man, last February, that sucked. They were trading like this, except for that they were only putting like 1,000 on the dome. we've got 4s and 5s up here. Gabriel Ano, how are you? Good. How are you doing this morning? I'm kind of sitting here watching. So 8.5, that's interesting. 8.5 is the open price. Yes, this is the 6th month, but I stopped trading from like September until February of this year. Right. Okay, so you probably just barely missed some of that crazy. But you would have seen like last May, right? Maybe you would have seen last May, because there was 2 of them, right? There was May, which was like all of the liquidity pulled. It was like a flash. There was a flash crash, and then the markets were just crazy for a while, and then things kind of calmed down, and that's when I started doing very, very poorly. And then May came along, and everything flared up again in May. This year, I think, is going fairly similarly, actually. I mean, there wasn't like crazy, but there was a little bit of downside in well, I guess it was in December. But then, it's been mostly up. Like there was a little bit of concern in February, but then eventually things resolved up in E-mini. Some Portuguese that I don't understand. I'm going to go translate it. Last August. Oh, okay. So you would have missed me. Okay. Well, in May of last year was pretty crazy. do not understand what you say, but I'll learn English for a better conversation. Okay. Thank you, Gabriel. I appreciate it. I need to pick up. I yesterday, because remember I was learning Chinese. I don't know if you guys, that was far. That was a while back, but um, I've been feeling like some of the games that I play during the week are maybe a little bit too stressful for me. Like when I'm doing it, I don't feel stressed out, but then over the week, and if I'm not getting enough sleep and stuff, I'll get like a twitch in my eye or in my jaw, and I'm like, I'm actually the combination of trading and then going to the gym and then coming home and playing some stressful battle royale game or something like that is too stressful for me. So I need to do less stressful things. So I started doing my music again, and that was nice. But like I got bored of that really quickly, and so I tried picking up the language learning again. We'll see. The eye twitch is maddening. Any kind of twitch irks me. But I'm always thinking like, uh, do I have a mineral deficiency right now? I think though that in this case that it's stress induced. I did go, I've always thought, okay, um, sometimes when I start doing poorly, it's because I'm not taking a multivitamin or like something in my health stack has changed. But I did okay last week, and I did not have my multivitamin for like a month. It was on back order. But I tell you what, when I take it, it's like immediate difference. It's the magnesium. I'm almost certain it's the magnesium, which is kind of an interesting thing. If you want a good multivitamin, they're almost always going to seem a little absurd because getting enough magnesium is very difficult. It's like you have to take like 3 gigantic pills to get the magnesium into you. So it'll always seem a little ridiculous. But yeah, and I took it and I sleep like a rock and I feel great. Okay, so there's 090. So we're back up to, well, not to the high of this range. It seems like it's ticking up and down a little too easily though. So maybe we could take one down in here if it comes back enough. And the E-mini is in a spot where I just don't think that I can play it. By the way, where's the this week? Okay, so we don't have anything today. It's kind of light on news until we get to Thursday. Oh no, wait, that was this week. That was last week. Here's this week. Okay. So we have something on Wednesday. We've got retail sales. Overall, though, and there's some Fed speakers this week as well. So, like at 10:45, I have Fed member George speaks. Yep, it's doing this thing again, where you get caught in a range and nobody holds it. I find it weird because, um, like it seems like they're ready to go, but they don't. For whatever reason, it's like the robots are scared. I guess I should pull up the Bitcoin chart here too and look at that. Where were they at on 73? So there was a really, really massive move over the weekend in Bitcoin, and the whole thing is still, to me, just completely crazy. Yeah, he's trying to get the low at 31 in ZB. I think so. Yeah, this whole thing is okay. So I just got. Oh, I did not see that. From Zero Hedge about 10 minutes ago, China is discussing the possibility of dumping U.S. Treasuries. Point of control holding tough. I just don't want to bid in the center of value yet. Me too. Not only that, but it's 638, so a lot of the initial move might be over. And it's not really I mean, the thing is it's Monday. And right now it's still acting like a range-bound Monday. Alligator says, in my opinion, the first leg should be up, followed by a pullback or possibly a reversal. Lucas says, I'm scared. I want a source for this. Alligator says that the bonds look overextended to him. That's interesting. Okay, so they finally took it out. 10.5. Of course, they tick back down. Nobody's traded 09.5 yet. Okay, there it is. You know what? I think I should change some things around here. I want to make sure that. Okay, so if I do that, and I do that, if I rearrange this window that you guys can't see. Oh, sure. Yeah, let's do it like that. I'm going to rearrange this one. And then let's see if I can make that and like that. No. Nope, it doesn't work. That was pointless. I'm trying to make it so that it's easier for me to type into Discord, but I don't think it's gonna work. CBOE volatility index up 4 points at 20.11. Odd JPY falls to the lowest since the January 3 flash crash on trade war fears. It's just going. Like, look at that. That's. Yeah, nope. They traded into 11 very easily there. I don't know if I'll get filled at 10.5. On the day today, I don't have an immediate upside target. Given that it's Monday, I was going to go for the value play, but ZB keeps testing the high end. Well, the thing is it gave us that good price, and we were all just too scared. Okay, well, there's a new high in ZN, and E-mini is still unhappy, let's say. Nobody's trading 10.5 there. China additional tariffs do not include U.S. crude oil. China raises tariff on U.S. LNG to 25%. What is that, LNG? Okay. They are trading into us now. I kind of don't like it. Yeah, I don't like the way that happened. No, I don't like that at all. Okay. That's a little better. Whoa. What was that? There's still a chance we could refill value area. Well, I don't like the way that I got filled, so I'm going to try and scratch it. E-mini is kind of recovering a little bit too. Yeah, you know what? Okay, so there was a decent pullback in ES. Okay. So an aggressive flip there, but not enough traded to take us out. Lucas was actually trying to go short there, huh? There is absorption at 10. Come on. This can be close. I think this might be a case where it says I'm 800 in line, but if it trades up into a 800, I don't think I'll actually. I think it'll need to be more than that. Or it will just completely clear it. Okay. Yeah, that sucks. Okay. Over here. Should have fixed that. Okay. Well, I can look at 08 half. Should have tried to get out of that sooner. There was chances for me to get out of that I knew from the fill that I should have tried. Algos really need some China trade talk optimism right about now. I don't know if anything can save them now. The problem that you're going to run into is that the action is going to get so negative that all of the algorithms are just going to want to sell. They didn't actually breach yesterday's low, by the way, in the E-mini. That's another important thing we should note. What price did we get that from? Yeah, 10.5. I think it was worth a try, but I let it come back way too much. See, now they're telling me, you should do 09.5. Look at that. He has turned around. Hmm. See, there was a little bit of a sell, and they immediately came up bid in the treasuries. Hmm. It looks like they might do it now. It's a very precarious. Like here, they're trying to get you to buy 10.5. If ES goes down to the low, they're probably going to make a new high. But if not, they could drop back to 08.5. So it's kind of risk reward here in this spot. I don't think is very good. I really, really want to do it, but I think I need to just hands off for a second. 10 is probably not a good enough price to justify it. I guess I should also note that that peak in volume in the 10 year in the cumulative delta, like they all bought it, it came up there to the high, and then they all dumped. So they bought, but they didn't actually hold on to them. Goldman Research, we are experiencing technical difficulties and will be back up and running as soon as possible. Yeah, okay. And sure enough, there's 09.5 pulling. Decent number of people in here watching today too. So I'm thinking that people are know that the markets are active and are looking to maybe trade. So definitely acting like Monday so far, though. What's this? There are huge discrepancies between them also. 5 year at highs, 10 year but lower, UB much lower than the 30 year. Yeah, well, so I see the 5 year and the 10 year both in a range here. I guess I should readjust it so that we can see that. But they're forming a zipper here at 10. Um, Spread possibly looking to move. Oil made a big move there. Which ones of these do we want to see? Noticing that 6E is maybe going to come down. I'm going to keep an eye on that one. Okay, they ticked lower. Kind of looks also like ZB is being a bit of a pill because the spread is steepening. So they're selling this end. It's kind of lagging. See, there's another downtick. At 30.5 in the 5 year looks weak too. Watching this 09, I see 4160. And the equities are trying to bounce out of the hole here. Seeing Zero Hedge repaste an earlier story about Kudlow undercutting Trump on that American consumers are paying for China tariffs. I read a thing yesterday. They were saying that normally the Chinese sellers would increase their prices to account for the tariffs, or they would change their prices to account for the tariffs, and they're not. So the consumers are eating it all. Okay, they just downticked, and that was 2,000 offer at 09.5. It's still ticking slow though, so that might be some sort of a push to try and get filled at '09. Let's see. So there they just absorbed everything that was there. Could could be a 3,000 here at '09. Overall cumulative delta is now negative for this session too. He says I got nothing for you this morning. Maybe a short at 28.31.50. No, I don't think the prices. I understand what you're saying because I've been watching it and thinking, well, I would like to be short the E mini, but just not right here. Just not right here. I would much prefer it to come back up to like 28.45 or something, you know? And maybe then if I saw some signs that it was going to fall apart, I could take one there. They are absorbing at '09. They are leaning on '09. The duties target U.S. agriculture industry. Targeted products include beef, chicken, wheat, fruit, vegetables, peanuts, sugar. ZF is going off for '07, and they're iceberging there. So they might try and push this down a bit more. There's definitely a big iceberg at '09 there, though. Okay, so they broke through the iceberg. It's fighting a little bit. Okay, they held it for now. So there's the E-mini again. That little burst seemed premature. Look at that. Ooh. So that was a pretty hard sell in ES. I don't think so. So the curious thing here is ES is pushing into new lows of the day. But Treasuries are not they're at the lower end of their range, and they are not reacting strongly anymore. Trying to just announce another 60 billion in retaliatory tariffs. You could feed your family on Ace's calls, even the ones where he's like, I don't know about it. Maybe he said maybe. It did go though. It wasn't a super strong one though. Like it's already okay. They pushed down. And now they're kind of testing the previous resistance again. I'm gonna zoom in here because it clearly matters. 28. 28. Okay. I guess I could have taken it at '09.5. So something that makes me a little nervous is this rumor earlier that China is considering dumping treasuries now. If they did that, I would think that the 10-year would sell. So that's kind of an issue. Normally the flight to safety is 10-year. Our flight to safety trade's not no good if the Chinese are going to sell it. Maybe that's why it's being so tepid. Okay, well, I kind of regret not taking it at when there was that iceberg at '09. It didn't stay there very long. I thought that we would spend a lot more time down there. Dang, just goes. So they didn't hold that 11. No level break set up there, even though it was quite a strong uptick on it. Look at the 5-year. Okay, that time it's stacking a little bit more. Okay, so only 1352, so it's still not a level break setup. Five-year. I should note 5-year is at evens there. That could cause us some problems here, I think. China says we'll never surrender on trade. Trump warns against retaliation. Yeah, this is going to be a dumpster fire. Okay, and my 10 is going weak again. Shit. I really thought that I would be able to get out easy there. It's curious. Okay. Let's take a step back for a second. I'm getting way too FOMO here. 5 years still at overnight highs, even though we came back to several ticks in the 10-year, yes. But I want 9.5. Okay. So the E-mini had a little bit of a buy there, but Treasuries didn't react to that one. Hmm. Okay. What's going on over here in the? This is my yeah. Okay. My cumulative delta was just a little broken there. Notice there was a buy in ZB and then it came back down. The spread is very strong selling in ZB. That's it. Bonds in the middle of the range with notes at the high. Well, so keep in mind that when things get when it's like a flight to safety trade, they tend to go for the shorter term treasuries, right? So what you're seeing right now is that there is a lot more volume in the short end of the curve. So if I was normally trading, well, I mean, if you have the sorry, if you have the margin to trade CB or multiple contracts in CB, something you might want to consider doing is just trading twice that number of contracts in ZN instead, or maybe even in the 5 year. Although the 5 years kind of you pay a lot more commissions for that. Wrong says you're so calm, Seth. I'm jealous. Well, I felt like though I feel calm right now. My heart rate is I think I feel I feel pretty calm, but I'm getting FOMO there at 11. I want to buy this, and I just don't think they're gonna give it to me. Or if I do get it, I feel like they're gonna. I have like this defeatist attitude in my head right now. Like this thing is just waiting to completely blow up. Um, but they're gonna find any way they can to screw me over before it happens. You should wear a heart rate monitor. That would actually, I should look into that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to trade 2 lots so I can start taking some CB trades. Yeah. But I mean, the gist of it is the way that this spread is moving right now is definitely steepening, and so you want to buy the 10 year and sell the 30. Oh yes, let's look what John said. Hmm. Oh yeah. So John was talking about the ES. It's kind of weird. Um, we were seeing it where when we saw some volume come in the ES, we would see the treasuries react to it. And then it kind of doesn't do its thing. Because I think what happens is there are robots that are watching the ES and are trading correlated with ZN based on the moves that ES does. And when you see that, that's often when you see it like tick up and down with hardly any volume going through. Now see, it's going to do it again. 739. But then there are other times where if somebody's going to make a big trade, they do it in the treasuries first. The really good moves, you're going to see the clues of it in the treasuries first. In fact, like today, if we have a big pullback in the equities on the open, it's possible. And then you see the treasuries start loading up, then I would be careful. Let's just say it that way. I'd be careful. Right now, though, they're saying, Seth, we're never going to fill you. U.S. says entities in China attempted to support Iranian programs. Fed's Claridia inflation running close to our 2% target. Is she talking right now? I thought that there wasn't anybody supposed to talk. Oh, I guess she was supposed to talk at 7:10. Well, that kind of changes things for us, doesn't it? Especially if she's saying things like that. That adds a lot of volatility that we could get. Okay, but now Ace is saying 28.31. You know what? Sure. Might be too late. Okay. Right. He's noting that it's close to the open, so we got to be careful. We got 15 minutes. I like the way that I got filled. I've never been filled like that in ES. It almost always goes through a little bit. Okay. Hmm. So don't like that. Let's just clear the down trades. Oh, clear current trades down. There we go. Okay. That's a little better. He says my computer screen doesn't render your screens very well. Is that to mean that like when you have it small, it's hard to see the numbers? Because sometimes like the auto YouTube will auto tell want you to use like 720p or something resolution for starters. You can go all the way to the 2K resolution, which is unnecessary, but it will look better. Or you just have to make the screen larger. But that's why I have the numbers as big as I do. I'm just noticing that the treasuries, they tend to be like they're ranging around, they're just kind of ticking up randomly, and then you'll get like a little bit of a rush up. Yes, and I would rather have the computer spend the energy on my trading. I gotcha. Well, what kind of a graphics card do you have? Yeah, JB says he has to change it up to 1080 every time he logs in. That's interesting. I wonder if there's a way that you can get it to recommend. It might have to do with the that in um. So there was another little bit of a buy rush. It may have to do with that I have like I'm telling it to do fast streaming, like there's fast and there's ultra fast, so that we only have like 5 seconds delay. Could be that too. Okay, well I got my eight. I got 8 ticks. It's a graphics card that I pulled out of an old B52 that crashed by my house. uh, Well, I don't think that I want that right there at. Okay, so now I need to do a little bit of um, investigation. Where are we at? Where are we going? Well, I don't think that 28.27 is the best target. Jay Constant, I sold my Bitcoin at 72.40. How high will it go? I'm starting to FOMO now. Wow. Well, you got a good price, my friend. I'll tell you that. Um, I would just here's the thing you got to keep in mind. You got to have your strategy, and you've just got to stick to it, right? If you don't have a solid strategy, then that's when the emotions get involved, and that's when you end up buying the high, right? So my strategy is I only buy when my indicator says to. That's interesting. Treasuries are still kind of bid, but the E-mini is threatening to come back on me here. Anyways, so I am only buying when my indicator says that price is good, and right now it's saying that it's extremely overbought. It's not the most overbought level ever because during the whole Mount Gox ordeal, they got over 200 on my indicator. Right now we're like 180, but we are well over prices that would normally cause a collapse. And I think the only reasonable explanation at this point is that it's being manipulated by Bitfinex. So that's where it's like, okay, so if the price move is due to Bitfinex, um, you know, this could go on as long as until Bitfinex is shut down by the feds. It just seems like that there's no other force in the market that can really stop them from doing what they want to do. Tomorrow, withdrawals and deposits on Binance are allowed again. Yeah, I mean the issue that you're going to have too is that when it sells, it's going to happen so fast you will not have time to react. So you just have to follow your a statistically tested strategy. It's just too difficult what I do here in the 10-year and seeing how much is trading at each price and figuring out if it's a good place to buy and everything and which prices are going to hold. And you just can't do that in Bitcoin. The ecosystem is too complicated for a person to do that. You're looking at multiple exchanges, and when it happens so fast you just won't be able to react. Yeah, the hack. People say Bitcoin is going to 10K this week. It might. I mean, the thing is that my indicator has basically been saying that at 6K it was like crash imminent. But I've known two things: that the indicator tends to be a little bit early, and that there's really no. It only says that there's going to be a crash soon. It's not very good at saying what the top price is actually going to be. There you go. So we'll see. Okay. So they're just a teeny tiny little cell in the 10. Or sorry, in E-mini had a little bit of a sell in there. The treasuries went bid again. Trading that BS sounds like nightmare fuel, totally. So that was it's a little interesting here. I am noticing that the micro futures are leading the E-mini by about a tick. I think they realigned finally, but Nope, not quite. They're also getting this gap. We've also got this gap thing going on here. It's just like they don't want to trade this area. Well, now the E-mini's finally going to go and make a new high. I don't think that I would have been able to get my spot in there anywhere. So maybe it's better that I took it in the ES. Now that said, in ES, okay. Oof. Currencies are doing something. I think I should just take it off here. Okay. Now it's doing the level break at 11. Hmm. 5 minutes. Let's just see. I think I could have exited that if I had been a little bit more patient and not freaking out in the ES. I probably could have gotten my 10. But a lot of it came back on us. I'm a little hesitant to take it now because it's 5 minutes before the open. And I missed before she goes. And they're not just breaking through there yet, huh? Okay, now they're doing it. See, like I could buy at 11.5. But chances are, if they fill me, that they're coming back down to here. I'm just going to wait. Just going to wait 10 minutes. Yeah, I guess now would be a good time. I can show you the chart, the Bitcoin chart. Move this over here. So, oops. See that big spike? I don't know if it's going to go through, but it is acting like they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. But the chart says that we are at a spot where they almost always crash. And this one has been so pumped. Dangerous in Bitcoin. Very dangerous. I get the FOMO though. Like, I want to buy it. Like, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, but you could have bought it at 3,000 and you get lucky and you know, you're up. Well, I bungled that trade. I think I bungled that exit. I think I should have waited until now. I should be taking it off at the plus 20. frankly could have shorted it there at 12, except for other than the time. Hmm. It's holding it pretty well, actually. Oh, they're selling it, man. That was the trade I wanted in the ES. I'd take it off right there. Okay. Well, I think I learned something there because I liked the way that I got my entrance. Um, like everything was lined up. I just how do you know when to take it off? And yes, that's hard. But I think that in this case, that the best thing is to take it off just before the end of the day. Oh, you know what? My little clock disappeared. Where is that? There we go. Okay, so here's the menu starting. I guess my clock is 10 minutes slow. Okay. First impulse is definitely a buy. It's a very, very strong buy. Chinese foreign minister. It is very logical that the United States and Russia respond to the interests of the international community. That was the robots. Missed it. I should have just taken the short. Don't like the way it got filled. I think it's okay. This should be 10. If I could be so lucky. Nope. They're dinking with me. ES looks a little overbought here. It's interesting that as much as the E-mini is buying up, that the treasuries aren't really. Okay. Downtick, that was weird. Hmm. I'm thinking the way that it's ticking right now that we're actually more connected to um, currencies than we are ES. Okay. It's a decent amount bought at 11.5. I think I finally got that scratch right. Chinese Foreign Minister of the United States should take its role to maintain security and stability in the Korean Peninsula. Well, why would they be talking about that? You know, the argument has been made, and I'm starting to believe this idea more and more, that China is trying to use elections as leverage. Basically, it's like, okay, well, if you won't give us the trade deal that we want that's beneficial to us, then we'll just help your opponent in the election and try and get somebody else elected and deal with them, or wait you out and take on whoever comes after you. And oh yeah, we'll make things really messy in North Korea so that you look bad, right? Like, when you look at where they're putting the pressure, that's a reasonable explanation, even though they're never going to say that outright. So I guess it kind of qualifies as a conspiracy theory, doesn't it? The short end can hardly hold this breakup, not to say long end. Hard to trade this bull steepening, smelling a reversal now, only helps from yen ES. Oh, look at that. Okay, so ES is starting to get wild. Not breaking that high, though. Interesting. And the treasuries are up there on highs again. I was thinking about 11, was it? Oh, maybe 11.5. Probably I'm better. I'm just kind of thinking here, okay, there was a place where I wanted to take a trade and I didn't take it. Was I making the right decision? Right now it's kind of iffy. Maybe I would have made it tick. So that's not what I want to see at a high. This is definitely a possible setup, though. Like, I could take 12, right? And see if it absorbs. Okay, so it did. Hmm. Now they're fighting. They're fighting at 12. I think that makes a pretty good case for them to try and hit into 12.5 now. It's going to be messy. Hmm. Wow. So a lot had to buy up through there. Is it very much right on the edge? Yeah. Well, what I'm seeing right now, it would normally be a good sign for higher, but it's it's a little questionable. So ES is not necessarily doing what it needs to for that to happen. The currencies are kind of pointed down, possibly pointed down at least. Yeah. They're going back and forth at 11.5, absorbing some. Yeah, see, somebody's buying at 11.5 here. Okay, now he's stacking it up. Nothing's trading now, all of a sudden. Okay, well, he stacked at 3 and they pulled. So it looks to me like there is a disagreement here at 12. Okay. So that might have just been the guy that was going long just gave up, perhaps. Because that was a good setup for long, and it appears to be potentially failing. I don't like what just happened there either. We need Swiss's reading on this. Well, the volume profiles I think would be helpful, other than that up this high you have to go so far back. The E-mini is definitely buying on the open, but I don't know. So it looks like a lot when you look at the cumulative delta over there on the Vista chart, but when you look at the number, it's only like a few thousand, 2 or 3,000. So the ES could turn around very quickly, and they are definitely cognizant of that. See the way that they tick up and down based on it. But they're not stacking a lot at 11. They seem fairly comfortable at 11. Okay, so 1,000 hit at 11.5, but they didn't pull the offer at all. Okay. So now I am starting to see a turn in ES. Maybe if I wasn't already in this, it would be worth taking a short here. Okay, so a lot bought there. It's not just going. There's been a lot of volume through here, and the cumulative delta is relatively flat. Okay. The level 2 is still going back and forth a lot. 5 year is not really attacking that quarter. 0 quarter. That's where I think I would need to start seeing some stacking here. Want to see that price hold. Okay. 1,000, that's good. Still seems pretty rangy. The upticks and downticks are strong. Ugh. It's like that was a bad downtick. E-mini bot there. $30 trying to front run them, I think. It's an odd uptick there in the 30-year. I normally don't sit there and be like, oh, I saw something in the 30-year, but it was like nothing else was moving and it ticked up very confidently in the 30-year there. So that was quite odd to me. Hmm. Okay, so some fairly strong buy volume came through there, and 11 half absorbed it all. So absorption seems to be on the side of the sellers, but okay, they did get the uptick. It's not holding very well. E-mini is very, very volatile right now. The volume is on the side of the shorts, but very volatile E-mini. Okay, how long have I been in this now? I think it's time to... Yep, it is. Been in it for 10 minutes. Still can't seem to get a buy to follow through. Hmm. See, it pulls a couple of them by and then it returns back to the equilibrium that it was at. there's some more selling. Yeah. Well, that's the best tickings that we've had so far. Okay. Well, somebody might have bailed there. Okay, now it's doing level break type behavior. Again. So it would have been nice to have avoided that big whole ordeal that we just had and bought at like 11. Like maybe you could enter right there at 12 right now. But I think that my first entry was not very good one. That's ugly in ES. People a month ago, Game of Thrones is better than Lord of the Rings. Just watch how good Season 8 is going to be. And then they got that picture of Daenerys. I want to let this trade go through a little bit, but I have a thought about Game of Thrones here. I don't watch that show. I've never seen a full episode. Okay, so they cleared 13. That was not 6,000 contracts that traded. The absorption has still been on the side of the sellers. Complete U-turn. Alligator saying. Okay. Still getting pretty disruptive upticks. I think I can hold this for a bit more. I'm looking at it here. Seems like I should have plenty of room above us to keep going. Oh, wow. Really? Curious. So the only targets, well, so there's 53 at 15. Okay. There's 55 at 20. This is way up there. What's this one that is showing? Those are the ones at 15 and 16. Okay, that's my signal to get out. Good deal. Okay. So, I saved myself there and gave the broker a good, $5 today. Should have taken 14.5. Well, I could technically still be in it, but I'm just not feeling this, man. I don't feel like super in sync with the market. I feel like that one was kind of a little bit of luck and like holding on too long. You know what I'm saying? What about you guys? Did you guys catch some of that? This is going to be funny if it actually does end up going up to 20. Of course, that's what they have to do now, is they have to make me look foolish and like really, really rip it up there. No, actually, it's... And see, but this is why I just don't like what it's doing, is like how quickly it comes back. I hate that. And ES is making a... is doing a thing. Well, so I wanted to try here, if I come over to my dashboard, there's a way to make a highlight. I think if I do create highlight, oh, you probably can do it through the YouTube dashboard thing. You know what? I think I would rather do it by recording it locally. Hold on a second. Output mode, recording, videos. Sure. Okay. Oh no, you know what? I want it to be like, oh, I think I'm fine. Hold on a second. I haven't done this before, so it's like, haven't done this on this machine. We should be fine. I just want to make sure that it's going out to a place where I can like edit it when I get home or something. That would be nice. Okay. Fine. All right. Okay, so Game of Thrones. Here's the thing. I do not watch Game of Thrones. And at this point, it's kind of become like, it is so popular that I just don't think that I can watch it. Like anything that's that popular and I missed out on, it's probably a bad thing. Like, you know, that's how the globalists manipulate you or something dumb like that, right? It's just like my tendency to be counter to everything is so strong that I just can't get myself to watch Game of Thrones. And I didn't watch it because I was like, oh, it's extremely violent and there's lots of sex, and I just don't really want to be too involved in that. But then I watch people on Facebook, because almost all of my friends on Facebook watch this show, right? And they are like really involved. And I'm like, I am not sure that I want to get that involved in a show again. Because the last time I got that involved in a show was The Walking Dead. And that show just turned into a complete disaster. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to watch television series anymore. Yeah, Boozy says contrarian daddy. That's me. I feel like since trading, the thing that I've learned is that I am just a contrarian, and that's just my place in life, and you gotta live it up. Anyways, but that wasn't the point. So the thing is I've never seen a full episode of Game of Thrones, but I can tell you, I know what the moral of the story is. Even if this isn't like what the intended moral of the story is, I can tell you what the moral of the story is. And you're seeing it just as it's playing out through the show. Let me explain what I mean. The moral of the story is, if you put any human up on a pedestal, they will always disappoint you. They'll always disappoint you in some way, okay? For instance, if you elect a leader and you think that they're there to save you from tyrants, and then what are they going to do? They're going to become a tyrant themselves. And apparently, I mean, I don't even understand enough about Game of Thrones to even like spoil it for any of you. But apparently that's what happened. Was character became a tyrant. Okay. But it's happening on like a meta level too. It's like, hey, if there's a character in the show and you really like that character, so much so that you name your child after them, right? Like a bunch of people were naming their kids after Game of Thrones characters. And then that character will turn around and commit unspeakable war crimes and horrors and become an absolute villain, and that their face is all over on this meme about how it says they lost me when they killed the king's hand. See, I have no clue what that means. But apparently, a bunch of people named their child after one of the characters in Game of Thrones, and then that character went out and committed unspeakable atrocities. And they're all kind of like, oh, I named my child after a war criminal. Oops, can't fix that one. Right? Or let's just say that there's an author that you really, really like, and you really like their series, and you're really excited to see how they end that series, right? And then what are they going to do? They're going to screw it up. Because everything that I get from my Facebook friends is they're not too happy. Hold on. Everything I get from my Facebook friends is they're not too happy about the way that this last season in Game of Thrones is going. And it kind of reminds me of like Harry Potter, post Harry Potter, It's like everything that they do, all of a sudden you're disappointed in it. Remember, anytime you put a human up on a pedestal, they're going to disappoint you. Why? Because humans are stupid. That's just, we all are. I'm stupid. Look at what I did today. Two bad trades in a row, even though we're buying. And look at where they happened. Okay. I bought 10 half and I took a 2-tick loss. I bought 11 and I took a 2-tick loss. And I was just buying. I think I kind of got into the little FOMO, but I was right. If I had been able to just keep that original one, I could have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ticks. Could have had an amazing day. Basically just came out flat. It looks like it could keep going, although that's some pretty strong liquidity at 15 and 15 half. But I'm just saying, if somebody was silly or foolish enough to be like, oh, that's Seth, he is an amazing trader. Like, we really should listen to what he says. And he can just do no wrong with how he trades. The instant that people start saying that, I am going to like tilt as hard as a person has ever tilted. The fall from the top. That's not, because that's what people do, folks. That's what we do. And I'm just saying that everybody is imperfect, and it seems like in our society that people have a hard time remembering that, and we expect things of people that even though they're good people, and you could say, hey, you know what? I feel like I'm still a good trader. Like, I think there's a way to look at this and say, yeah, but you did have the bias right, and you actually did have some good prices, and even though your entries weren't very good, this looks like it's going. And so you were trading pretty good, and it's just kind of unfortunate that you didn't make too much. I mean, that's true. So I think we could still say that I'm doing okay, but you make mistakes. That's just people. We make mistakes. Why is it that people have a hard time understanding that humans are extremely imperfect, especially your president or your elected leader? I don't understand why people seem to think that. Well, I do understand, right? It's our nature. It's in our nature to want to be led by somebody, right? But I'm just saying, even Daenerys, supposed to be, she thought that she existed on this planet to destroy tyrants. Apparently, that's my understanding. Again, I don't watch the show. She commits unspeakable war crimes. That's people. So yeah, that's my little spill for today. Let's see, what did Uzi say? You think you're stupid? I came in here, told everyone my bias was up, pointed out the point of control was a brick ball at 03, and didn't do shit. Well, maybe you were listening to me too much. Maybe you were like, well, Seth, he seems to be pretty wishy-washy too. I think that we should just hold off on here. It went. The only Dustin Echoes, who is Ace. It says the only consistent trader in here seems to be Ace. I hear he is regularly handsome and controls the White Walkers. I mean, he did pretty good. So this is another thing that kind of frustrates me is I took a short and it totally worked. And I could have taken it off at like plus 16 ticks, I think. And I didn't hold on to it. It came back and I was like, oh, I'm just too nervous. Look at this. It's still going. Zen's still going. Is it going to go to 20 like you said earlier? Well, so good question, Lewis. I don't want to make it seem like when I was saying earlier that it's going to go to 20. That wasn't like that's where it's going. That was just like that's the only spot I see on the DOM up above us. And so if we're saying that it's going to run and we're trying to figure out how far it's going to run, that's like the only thing on there that really looks like anything. Now that we've moved up, I see one at 18. Dustin Echoes such a liar. You can't trust that guy. He's arguing with himself now. Not great volume above 12. Perfect pullback to R2, 16, 17. Not sure for 20. Yeah, and I'm seeing the liquidity stacking up above us at 18. And it's kind of moving around. So it looks to me like people are thinking that it's going to reverse. But you got to be careful with that because this is a strong trend. You know, they really, really tried hard to keep it down at 12, didn't they? So now that it's run, we are in like, we could be in trend day mode, potentially. I've been sitting here all morning like they don't want to take it to the low end of value. Should buy in after write-off. Yeah. Well, they're making it difficult to tell. It's like, I mean, this definitely has the makings of a trend day in it. I don't know yet if that's really what it is. If we get another rush and we move up to 20, then we're going to be like, oh, yep. You're right, Seth. There was a trend day. But just remember if that happens that I said, I'm not quite sure. But there's people fighting it. And the E-mini is getting killed. So yeah, this could trend. Now the counter to that is that the thing that is trending is the E-mini, right? That is like, sell that shit. The Treasuries, they're acting as a flight to safety, but they have not been being as flight to safety-ish as normally they would be. And I think that some of that is because people are concerned that the Chinese are going to sell the Treasuries. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if that happened? Man. Well, anyways, I've yapped too long now. Some people are numbers went down, but that's a nice little thing. I'm going to stop recording that. And then when I get home tonight, I'll try editing it out and then, making it a nice little thing. That's what we learned from Game of Thrones, folks. That's what we learned. I banked on the 80% rule of price at least testing back to low value. It got within 2 ticks and banked too hard and didn't buy. Next thing you know, yeah, it's being awfully sketchy. Well, even here, it's coming back to 14. So I'm like, hey, maybe I could buy it at 14. But it's kind of doing the same thing. It's kind of like making it really scary. Really scary. At least I didn't sell it, right? Well, the thing that weirded me out, okay, was like, I'm having trouble buying it. I know it's going up, but I'm having trouble buying it. And then I saw it do like a pullback. And so I'm like, oh, okay, it's actually, maybe it's going to pull back. So maybe I could make a tick selling it. And then it wasn't going anywhere and I scratched it. Ooh, and reversed there right at that spot, actually. So that was interesting too, wasn't it? Hashtag bright side. I love it. You guys are so great. See, I'm assuming because you guys didn't have too much comments about Grim. I'm assuming that none of you guys watched it either. See, they're telling me I could get filled at 14.5. Totally could, but I think that the E-mini wants to recover a bit now. 28.17. I guess we said what are the targets on yes, but what are the targets on the yeah, on this one? Okay, so we've got 2806 and then 2800 abouts. So I think that they might try another flush. China hikes tariffs on most U.S. goods in 60 billion target list. There's John's notes. And where does he have? Well, he has 148.06, but we're above that. 148.06 to 14 area is where we're at right now. That's the 20-week bull bear zone. So we are still like, that's interesting. Okay, now they're telling me maybe you get 14. Maybe. Oh, so for it to come back, yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 was that one, and that one was 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 at 14 is a 4-tick pullback. So, there's going to be buying at 14 and 14.5. Clearly support, but if it falls below that 14, then you've got to start wondering if we are not in a that the trend is over. Okay, so there is a little bit of absorption there on the low end of this, but that hasn't been a terribly what is the word? Reliable signal lately, has it? And the other time you kind of did do it, it did it, and then they fell back, and then they busted right through it. Stack, pull, 42 traded. 42 traded into the bid at 14. 5-year holding an okay bid at 01 and 3/4. Bid is looking really weak though. They might try and pull it to try and get some fills there at 14 because the expectation is that it's going to be difficult for them to get below 14. But that might mean that that's exactly why they're going to do it this time. Logo says the entire morning waiting for this type of move, and it happens when I'm at the bathroom. Right? This is incredibly frustrating the way that the treasuries have been moving like this, isn't it? Because normally it just trends and you just get in and it goes. But this one, we're sitting here like debating with ourselves if we should actually get in at the bottom. And missing it. Okay, 14 goes offer. Nothing traded into 13.5 yet, but if they do, that would be a 5-tick pullback. Well, they did not, and now 14.5 is going offer. Or 14.5 is getting weak and could potentially go bid. They're definitely playing level 2 games down here. Okay, so 14 goes offer again. Nobody traded 13.5. Yes, but close from first hour. Treasuries try to build volume at the top, not convinced they can hold another bounce or a break spot. Okay, so I got filled. It was kind of holding, and now they're actually holding a decent offer. Some people have traded into 13.5, but only 2 contracts. But you got 2,600 on the offer on you. That's never a good thing. Okay, so there was some buying in the E-mini. I'm going to move this down here, so I don't have a whole lot of time. Well, equities are starting to look a little bullish. Watching the micro futures trade is interesting because they do tend to lead the E-mini, and you could potentially use that as a signal, but they seem very FOMO-y. Like, it moves and they're all trading and then it turns around on them. It's like a perfect example of why retail traders tend to have issues. So you're getting all of the volume in exactly the wrong spots. Okay, well now my 14 is going weak. They can trade it up. Don't know. It didn't bust. 13.5 is still kind of playing games. And they've gone both ways here. Wow, 2,800 sold at 13.5 just now. It wasn't all one order. It was just a flush of stuff. But that might have been a splitting algorithm. 5-year ticks up. Doesn't hold. Sellers seem to be making a good little run there now. John making a good point that we're pretty far above the VWAP. I should note here for you guys. Okay. So now my price is going bid. It's looking good. They're pulling at 14.5. I'm little skeptical about any more than 15. I mean, if they do go, well, okay, so somebody already pulled. There was a ton there at 15.5. There was almost 700, and I think that about 500 of it pulled. Okay, so some iceberging at 14 now. So equities are starting to look a little heavier. Oof. Hmm. Kind of curious. They're just kind of sitting here now. Okay, a few bought. They're still not able to hold a bid at 14.5. Okay, they finally hold a bid at 14.5. At least for now. 1,500 on the bid. 3,300 on the offer. They're not really pulling. Okay, almost stacked to 2,000. They're doing 1,800. And O2 half maybe might break in the 5-year. Well, if they go through here, it could get really interesting. Well, the 14.5 is not really holding a very strong offer right now, but they can't seem to keep it bid either. And we got just a few minutes left before I would like to get going. Yeah. So I think that I should try and get just one. Can only hope. And maybe if they fill me and we get out, then maybe it will actually run and we could have gotten our +2, but that's okay. No. 14 goes offer. Lucas mad that he missed the move up. Well, I don't know, man. It was pretty weird trade. I kind of got lucky that I caught a winner off of that, to be honest. Okay. They're definitely playing games with the level 2 in this area. I don't know if I'm going to get filled at 14.5, though. You need 700 contracts to buy there. Okay. So a decent amount absorbed. Interesting. Okay. Are you laughing at me not getting filled here, Lucas? Is that what that haha is? Oh, come on. Oh, look, I'm at the back of the line. That means that you should pull it. Oh, well. Lucas, usually I don't join breakouts, but I would have definitely fade it. Kind of feels like the up move is done for now in ZV. Well, they're definitely having trouble here. So that was weird there at 14. When it did go offer there for a bit, and it flickered there a ton, didn't it? So that's one that I think you got to pay attention to, because that could be a situation where like somebody wants to buy a lot at 14 and they're trying to be sneaky about it. And so they will like pull their bid, let it go offer, and then buy what's on the offer. Right. And then if you get a situation where they buy what's on the offer and then somebody sells what they bid and it goes, and so it ends up flickering a bunch of times, you know, that tells you something, because that's a lot of people there that just took trades in that area. And to continue to see that much volume at 14, that is an indication that the trend day could continue. I don't know for sure. Well, there's 14 half went bid. Let's see if 15 goes weak, because I don't know. There's 6,000 at 15 half. That's kind of the problem. I've had this happen to me before, where we come in and, you know, there's these big offers above us. I will highlight them. Two big offers right here. And I've had a situation where you really thought like it was going to turn them down. And you know what? Actually, we're seeing people take shorts at 14 half, you know? And then they came up and these completely pulled and they just really went. Lucas says he can't see, but it looks like I had a nice day. Yeah, I wish that you could see the overall thing, right? I made $19, but that's 5, 7, oh wait, $10, $10, $11. So I made like $7 or $8. If we got rid of these things, then I would have had a really nice day. Obviously, I could have done a lot better, but it's a Monday, so it's okay. As long as it didn't end in complete disaster. I mean, the thing is that this one right here, oh man, this one right there. Look at that. Look at the MAE right there. 3. Seth, your fill sound is the same as mine. I just freaked out looking for fill on my ladders. But that's not the sound that I get when I get a fill. That sound, what happens is I get a fill and then I try and cancel my other orders, and I think that it says that because I already canceled it, it like auto cancels it. So then I'm trying to cancel something that doesn't exist anymore, and it gives me an error every time. So that's annoying. It's annoying to me. I don't like that error message coming up because it's like, I did something wrong. I tried to exit and I did it with the wrong type of order and it's rejecting it. And now I'm going to miss my chance. That sort of a thing. Lucas says I will stay. See if I can get another 2 to 3 ticks out of this. Well, what price do you have it from? Here's 830. Didn't quite get a reversal. I don't know. The E-mini recovered pretty significantly in Delta there. Bought 13.5. Oh, I think I got 14, but yeah, you got 13.5. That's good. See, that's where it's like, if you got to catch the good price. So you catch 13.5. Clearly, they don't want to trade into 15. So it's like you could sit there with an order waiting to get filled at 14.5. That's the easy trade. You might get filled at 15. If you get filled at 15, though, then, then all of a sudden there's these possibilities of 15.5, 16, 17.5. There's so many big orders above us. So like that one right there, do you see that one at 17? That was not there before. So there was one, and now we're here, and there's this big old thing at 16, and now something is showing up at 17. That is curious. That is a new one. I have not seen that before. So I'm going to be very interested to see if they break a new high. I think that I don't know what the probability is. I don't want to say like it's likely, but it seems like that there's a good chance that it could. I'm really tempted to buy 14, but I know after 8:30 it's a bad thing for me to take trades after 8:30. Yeah, I bought 14. So you got a little bit better than me then. Good job. How did you get that one actually? Oh, you got lucky on that, Phil. I remember now because that was the one that went offer and then like nobody traded it and it ticked right back up. Also, the 7K bid and offer that are kind of marking the range, yes. So there's a Bills auction. Okay, so if I took one here, 14. Let's see, they're pulling both ways. Hate that. I hate that. They're messing with you. The robots are messing with you right there. Okay, would be filled at 14. Would be an okay fill. The E-mini is starting to catch a bit of a bid though. Oh yeah, look at that. 13.5 goes over. Oh, 41.33. They gave that up fast, but they bought it. Ooh, is it going to be interesting? It looks like Lucas has quite a big friend there with him at 13.5 though. Okay, 13.5 goes offer. 77 to clear it. Alligator says someone scaling down? I don't know. Or maybe somebody that really wants to sell and is just moving it around. I don't know. That was actually one of the most significant delta changes we've had today. Global Climbs tweet on Boeing doesn't reflect official government view. The GT's Hungjin GT is China's attempt to out-troll Trump on Twitter. Who is that? Editor-in-chief of Chinese and English editions of the Global Times. I see. Oh. Moving around to sell kind of makes sense. You got the bad news, which dropped indexes and that allowed bonds to go up. I don't know. Yeah. Well, but now notice that we've come down, that they've disappeared. Well, they haven't disappeared, but there's not 7K up there anymore. So when I see that, my interpretation of that was there was some guys that were long and they were expecting to be able to take it off at 15.5 or higher, and they got stopped out of their positions, and so they took their limit orders off. That's one explanation. There's no way to know for sure if that's what happened, because for all we know, it's just a robot just randomly placing stuff there for no reason at all. But that is one interpretation of it that I think in this kind of contextual situation might be the more likely scenario. Now, the thing is now there's also the 11.5 will probably be could be some support if they're able to move down there. This could be one of these things though where they're like, oh no, it's falling apart, and this is exactly where it turns back around. Bond move very anemic considering the ES dumped 70 handles. Well, yeah, and you know what? When I look at that though, let's move these away. Okay, so here you can kind of see I have it set up so that I can see where we're at across all of the different charts. So I'm gonna scroll out here on the 10-year. Okay, so I need to scroll out on ES too. Okay, so when we come way back here, okay, here's where we were when Treasuries started going. Okay, and notice Treasuries had a decently good move up, but the E-mini was holding pat, right? And then the Treasuries held flat while the E-mini came up, and then they both went down for a move. Okay, so they kind of went together, right? So this move they kind of went together. This move they didn't, right? But what was moving when we saw this move? Let me just in case you're not with me with where I'm at. This move right here. Okay, where were we at? This is gonna be hard. I'm gonna have to move this over here. Okay. So this move right here, and here it is in ES. Okay, so Treasuries moved up, ES was kind of flat. Okay, but what else was moving at that time? Look over here at 6J. See that? Zoop. Little move up there in 6J. And then this one, this move up, it's kind of the same thing. You can see here it is in 6J, here it is in ZN, and here it is in ES. So based on that, here's my take. Um, while it seems like that it's the E-mini that is driving the treasuries, I think it's actually the currencies. It seems to me like that because the currencies did it that first time, especially, that the exchange rates are having a stronger impact on price than the E-mini is. And that's why it kind of seems like that normally when you would have a real panic move, that you would really see bonds move up and really panic and everything. And it doesn't seem like that's what's actually happening. It seems like that the robots are trading it up based on the currencies, and all of the day traders are getting all excited and you're seeing a ton of volume, but then it completely comes off because nobody's actually holding the positions because it's not a fundamental thing. It's just the traders moving it because the currency moved. So if that's true, that scares me a little bit. If my theory ends up being right, because why wouldn't the flight to safety be to bonds? Where are they going to put the money? Like, honestly, I don't know where else. Gold? Let's look at gold. Okay. So they moved pretty strong in gold before any of this, really. Well, it was the first sweep up. They moved into gold. So you smelling what I'm stepping in, guys? It seems to me that they're not flying into treasuries for the flight to safety. And live action just gives a big grin. Now if that is, because that's the theory, right? So if the theory is correct, then what are some theories on why? Well, one theory is that China's going to dump the bonds. People are afraid that China is going to dump bonds, and there is a rumor now coming out from Zero Hedge that they are talking about it. And if China sold some bonds, they could really, really move it. They could really, really, because bonds are relatively high. Relatively high here. I mean, think about that. Oops. Think about how far down, how high up we are. So we could come at least back to the 123 area here very easily. But if China's going to dump the bonds, I mean, gosh, look at all that down there. And if we're doing that, and meanwhile the equity indexes are moving down too, because like interest rates are getting higher, that's like a very scary situation. So to me, that's why I say it's scary. To me, seeing that they're not really flying into treasuries and they're flying into other stuff, it looks like they're flying into gold. It's a little concerning. So that's kind of my macro take. And then of course there's Bitcoin. I don't know if that actually matters, but look, Bitcoin is not stopping. It is above. It has no business being that high. Look, it's on third standard deviation from the VWAP. Almost never happens in Bitcoin. Almost never happens. Okay, here it did it. Here it did it once. 55, and then there was a big sell. Well, not a huge sell, but they did sell. Bitcoin has no business being where it's at right now. I think that they're manipulating price, and I don't think that there is anybody big enough out there to stop them. And I don't know how far it's going to go. I just know that at some point it's going to end, and it's going to end badly. So that's Bitcoin. Okay, so... Oh, yes, we need to make our little picture. Let's do that. Let's make our picture. I need to take, maybe tomorrow we'll take some pictures, like for me, of me. Where is it? Thumbnail. Okay, here's that. And where is our big CN chart? Did it not save? I guess it didn't save it. Okay, well, we can make this one big. We'll make this one big. then we're going to come over here. So live action, this is reaching a bit, but do you think tariffs may be producing fear of inflation and interest rates? Yeah, well, I mean, so the thing is it's super hard to know for sure, right? Why people are doing what they're doing. I think though that then my first takeaway though is that people just aren't moving into treasuries. So that's the first thing that we know. Now we can watch and see, what other stuff maybe happens. Okay, so there's that. Save as. And then I'll save it as a PNG. And this is 5 / what's the date today? 13. 5/13. Save. Yay. Okay. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to show you. Here we go. Oops. Change thumbnail. There we go. Oh, it could have. You can make a highlight with just picking the times. Oh, okay. We'll do that. But I recorded it, so. And Bernie Sanders supporters. I wish that I was making one. Had a video, but it was Mother's Day, so I don't have a political video this week. But so much engagement on that. So, by the way, thank you for those of you guys on Friday that commented on the video. So I just want to show you here that now that I have it open. If I come over here to my video, my channel. Why is it not going? Oh, here we are right now. Live right now. Oh, we need to change the and I can hear myself. I need to change the title so that it's the right day. 13 May. Okay. Refresh that. See if it changed. I need to change the title. There we go. Okay. So if you scroll down the video, you will get you might get this, but then you scroll down to the bottom, you can leave comments. So I'm going to say crazy day, but it seems like the flight to safety is more gold than treasuries. This concerns me a bit. So I'm just going to leave a small little comment there. And you guys can either respond to that or you can put in your own comment. But it's really great. So it was Wrong, I think it was, that took a short in NQ on Friday. And oh my gosh, like I went and calculated out what he took and everything. And it was a nice little profit. It was like over $1,000 on a micro contract. So I love to hear that. And even if you make a really bad one, like we can talk about it. But I really would like to get more interaction with you guys on the comments. So please put in your comments on the video, like scroll down and do it right now here when we quit, or, do it at the end of your session. And I'm going to respond to every comment that gets put on these videos. So I appreciate it very much. And I don't know why. I mean, I'm getting comments, but I don't see them show up until like later in the days. But maybe that's just because people do it when they're done trading. So, which probably makes sense. Okay, so one more comment here. Live Action says, check out Levin last night. He had a constitutional lawyer guest, and he embarrassed Congress terribly. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that sounds like something down my alley, so I'll definitely take it out. All right, so anyways, thank you guys. And then, of course, if you didn't hit that like button for the video today, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to really appreciate it. And yeah, I guess we had an okay day. We had an okay day. It could have been bad. That last trade could have not worked out, and I could have ended up, very unhappy today. But it all worked out, so it's okay. All right, so thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Should be a good day, I think. if it's anything like today. And in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.